With the Monolith, we introduced a car as a completely safe environment.
In the opening scenes of the film, we are given a glimpse of the future, specifically the time that lies ahead, where everything is very advanced and modern. We are shown a girl named Sandra, who was traveling in her advanced car with her 2-year-old son. Her husband has gifted this car to her, and now she is going to her mother-in-law's house with her son. Now Sandra starts checking the features of this car. She finds out that its AI, artificial intelligence, is very advanced and powerful. She observed that her husband had traveled in this car before her, where he had gone to a hotel with some of his friends. There was also a girl with him. Seeing this, Sandra found it very strange. She starts doubting her husband. And then she gets a video call from her husband, who tells her that there is an application of this car, whose name is Monolith. He tells her that this app has been downloaded on your mobile phone. It is the main application of this car, so now you can control this car from your mobile phone as well. Sandra finds out that her husband is in a hotel where someone knocks on the door of his hotel room. Then her husband cuts the phone calls and goes to open the door. And now Sandra's doubt had completely changed that her husband is really cheating her. He has entered into a relationship with someone else. On the way, Sandra stops in a storeroom to buy some things. She went inside the store with her son when she sees that an outsider is peeping inside her car. But because she can control her car with her mobile phone, that's why she quickly took the phone. She turns on the car's vault mode here, so that no one can go inside the car. The car is now completely locked and had become like a bunker. Then Sandra starts buying things there when she finds that her son is not here. She got very scared by this. She starts looking for her son everywhere because her son had asthma. And now when she goes out, she sees that some girls are playing with her son. Seeing her son there, she got angry, but she was also getting angry at the girls. She quickly picks up her son and starts talking back to the girls. The girls who got angry started moving towards Sandra. Then she quickly takes her son and sits in the car. And the car bunker turns on the wall to wood. Then after a while, she takes her son away from here. Then she calls her best friend. Her friend tells her that she is now in a hotel room. She tells that she is there with her friend, whom she likes. Sandra understands here that her friend is with her husband. These two are having an affair. Sandra then realizes that someone is sitting next to her friend. That's why she tells her friend a lot that show me the face of your friend whom you like. But her friend was very surprised to hear this. She doesn't show his face and hangs up the phone call. Sandra got very angry with this. Here her suspicion completely changed to belief. The trouble of Sandra was increasing. In a while, she also reached the house of her mother-in-law, but now she decides that instead of going home, she will go to the hotel where her husband and her friend are, so that she can hold them with her red hands. And now she starts driving her car at full speed. The car's AI tells her that there has been an accident ahead. That's why she should go from the other road. Because Sandra had to go to the hotel as soon as possible, that's why she tells the AI to tell her the shortest way. When the AI tells her the shortcut, she takes her car and lives on the same shortcut way. She was driving very fast. Because this place was a desert area, it was very dark all around. That's why she couldn't see anything clearly. And now Sandra, who was in a lot of tension, starts smoking a cigarette. The smoke of the cigarette started hitting the AI, as if there was a fire in the car. That's why it turned on the emergency mode of the car. Although Sandra also told the AI that she has only smoked a cigarette, There was no fire here, but the AI doesn't understand her. That's why Sandra manually controls the entire system of the car. That means she takes control of the car in her hands. And now she was going to drive it on her own. That's when Sandra's son started coughing because he couldn't stand the smoke. He was having trouble breathing. That's why Sandra throws her cigarette out of the car. And because her son was crying, she gives him her mobile, and then suddenly something bumps into the car, which stopped the car. It was found out here that this car is so strong that if it is dropped from the top of the mountain, then nothing will happen to it. And now, here although Sandra didn't want to get out of the car, but she still got out to see what happened in front of the car, which is now pressed under the car. She came out of the car because the entire system of the car was now manual. She sees that there is a deer under her car. Now her son, who was sitting inside the car, opens the Monolith app in Sandra's mobile and accidentally turns on the vault mode in the bunker, due to which the car is completely locked again. This was a big problem because it meant that no one can go out of the car and no one can come inside the car, even a bullet. Seeing this, Sandra got very scared. She comes close to the car quickly. She started looking at her son, who was fine now. She starts thinking how to open the car door. She tries to open it with the tweezers of the tree, but there is no use. Sandra finds that his son has still opened the same application. She tries to explain to him that somehow turns off the vault mode. But it is obvious that the child was only 2 years old, so it was impossible for him to understand these things. Suddenly, her son's mobile falls down from his hand, and now he can't even pick up the phone because he was wearing a seatbelt. And now the child couldn't even open his seatbelt. Outside, Sandra gets very worried. She picks up a stone and tries to break the car's glass. But it is obvious that this was the strongest and safest car in the world, so it was impossible to break its glass. In the severe tension, she remembers that she saw a powerhouse behind her. So she runs quickly and goes there to ask for help. But there was no one there. Then she finds a phone there. She picks it up and starts asking for help, but she found out that this phone is also broken. So once again she started going towards the car, but she realized that there is an animal around her. She got very scared and ran away quickly. She sits on the roof of the car. When she looked around, there was really an animal behind her. But it was not going to leave her so easily. It starts roaming around the car to catch Sandra. Seeing this, Sandra gets an idea. She hits the car hard with an axe. The car's alarm starts ringing. Hearing its loud noise, the animal runs away from there. And so the night passed. As soon as morning came, Sandra sees that the place where her car is parked is far away. It's just a desert, which clearly means that she can't get any help from around. Then she remembered that she had also seen an airport board on the way. She thinks that she can get help from there. But now the temperature outside is increasing a lot. While in the car, her son was wearing very thick clothes, because of which he feels very hot. The child is crying with anxiety. Sandra doesn't understand what to do. How can she help him in these circumstances? She remembered. She takes off her jacket and puts it on the sunroof because the sun was going in through the top window and the child was feeling hot. And now Sandra starts moving towards the airport. Even after walking for many hours, she doesn't see any signs of the airport. Now she was very tired and was feeling very thirsty, because of which her condition was getting worse. But fortunately, she finds a river here. Sandra drinks a lot of water there. Because of the heat, she also puts it on herself. Now her condition got a little better, and once again she starts moving forward. And after a while she reaches the airport, but when she came here she saw that this airport is a deserted airport, where there is nothing but some broken planes. She picks up the radio so that she can get help through it, but unfortunately this radio breaks. She finds a bottle there, with which she gets off the plane. She also burned the plane's 2 tires. She burned the tires so that someone would come to help her by giving fire and smoke there. And as soon as she reached her car, she sees that her jacket, which she had put on the sunroof, has fallen down. Seeing which she got scared, she starts worrying about her child. That's why she starts running towards the car. She comes near the car and sees that because of the heat, her son has fainted, and also his condition is very critical. That's why she puts the water she brought with her on the car, so that the temperature can be a little lower. Although the car's fan was on, but because of the lack of AC, her child felt so hot that he fainted. Here Sandra got an idea. The front side where ventilation is there, air goes inside. There she pours fire and creates smoke, so that the smoke goes inside the car, opens its window. But nothing like this happened. In fact, it is reversed. When the smoke goes inside, the car's automatic system closes the ventilation to open the door, due to which a little bit of air that was going inside earlier, it also stops going now, because of which Sandra looks very sad and crying. She was so worried that she immediately attacks the car with a hammer. Many times she hit the car with a hammer, but she didn't even get a scratch on it. And now Sandra gets completely tired and lies down there. After it was shown that a few years have passed in the story, where Sandra comes to this place with her husband, because her son died in the accident of that car, after which Sandra had buried him here. Here her husband says that you have killed our child. You had locked him inside the car. After hearing this, Sandra starts crying a lot. And suddenly, Sandra opens her eyes. Because she was only seeing all this in a dream, she immediately thought of her child. She comes near the car and sees that her son is sitting in the same position. He is not moving at all. He is sitting like a statue. Sandra's eyes were clearly seeing pain, because she thought that now her son is really dead. He is no longer with her in this world. Now being sad, she tells her child that she will go straight to heaven, while she will go to the hell. She was crying badly. But suddenly, she finds that her child's fingers are shaking. She thanks God that her child is alive. Now he was alive, but his condition was very bad. Sandra was also seeing her child. Then that animal came again to attack her. Then to save her life, Sandra gets on the car again. But because the car was too hot, so she gets up quickly and comes under the car. But here too that animal comes and attacks her. But in a short while, Sandra realized that this animal was behind the deer trapped under her car. So she throws the deer in front of the animal. And now as the deer moves away, the car starts moving backwards. Seeing this, Sandra got up quickly. She stood behind the car and stopped it. Then she also put a stone to support the tires so that the car does not go back, because there was a hole there. She thinks, why not throw the car from top to bottom, so that the AI system of the car will be convinced that there was a real accident. That's why it will open the doors. Because she had also heard about it from the company. and she was also convinced of this. Because this car is very strong, so even after throwing the car from top to bottom, nothing will happen to this child. And now Sandra does the same. She first removes the stone, then pushes the car and throws it in the hole. And now, when the car was in the air, the AI system found that the car has had an accident. That's why the car turns on its motion sensor, which means that the car automatically comes into balance and lands on the ground straight. There was only smoke around. Sandra came down quickly. She was very scared to see the smoke, but as soon as she came close to the car, she was very surprised to see that the car landed so safely. And a good thing is that now the door was also open. Because the car was designed in such a way that when it feels that the car has had an accident, it will automatically open its door. And now, Sandra takes her son out of the car. She takes off all his clothes and sits in the shade so that he feels cool. But still the child's condition was very bad. While the car reboots itself once again, she is able to walk again. That's why Sandra quickly took her child and sat in the car. As soon as she turns off one of the car's moves, the car's tires fly away. There was a rock in front of Sandra, on which she starts walking without fear, because she knew that this car can easily run on any road. And now Sandra speeds up the car. After crossing a lot of different rocks, finally she reaches the main road. From here, Sandra directly took her son to the hospital, and in a short while, his child becomes completely normal. And in this way, Sandra saved her child's life. Now she becomes very happy, thinking that finally, today, she has fulfilled her duty of being a mother. She did what she could do for her child. Sandra was also confirmed that her husband is really cheating on her, and he was really related to her friend. And now she will decide whether she wants to live with her husband or not, or she will spend the rest of her life with her child. With this, the story of this movie ends here.